What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BreakZone. I'm JT.
And I'm Laurent.
And we're giving you live coverage here of the Boston Crystal Cup here with Square Enix's event as we go on to the road to nationals. We just saw in round one our reigning national champion, Joe, just playing a very, very, very strong game here. And it's great to see, how good form he's doing. And we hope you guys enjoyed that match. We sure did. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about some more Opus 5 cards here for everybody who's not as familiar with it. So we were already talking about Orphan before. Now we're going to talk about Buckaboo. Right? This card is ridiculous. Laurent, go ahead and take it away.
So when this card was spoiled, everybody was talking about it. It was the hottest thing on the block. The fact that Ice really wants to make you discard, and this card is just effective. At worst, it is trading even, but if you have Ice backups, and as Ice, you're usually the aggressor, putting down a Buckaboo is going to make your opponent really play to your game.
Right. And so a little bit, when the card, your opponent, when a character, any character that your opponent plays, they have to discard 2 cards. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump right to the next round. So stay tuned. We have a really, really fun and interesting match for you guys between 2 very popular and very well-known players here. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into their match between right here, Sam Prime and Mr. Matt Cosmore. You guys should know these players, and if you don't, you'll know them very soon. Both of these are very, very strong players here. We're going to go ahead and get started. Sam started off with what looks like to be a one-drop summoner, pitching Terra, and is on to Cosmore's side. Let's see what he does here. Both of these players have been playing in the scene for a very, very long time, and both are pretty well known. Looks like Cosmore is just going to play right into a fat Chocobo there.
What are you going to grab?
And he's going to go ahead and grab a Chocobo. Look,
he's going for the aggression.
Wow, and right away, Sam taking his first point of damage here.
And flipping a lock on the EX burst, on the damage side.
On the damage side, no help from him there. Quick point of damage here from Cosmore.
So it looks like it's going to be 2 fairly aggressive decks. Ice is not known to try to stabilize and go for the long game. And let's see which aggro is going to come out on top.
This is a rough matchup for Ice when you're playing when you're playing against a wind here. So let's see what Sam does here.
Looking at what Sam discarded in order to play that summoner first, you could see that he discarded a Terra, meaning that he probably has more copies of her in his deck. And if he does use her and her special effectively, he'll be able to deal with a lot of the aggression that Matt.
Wow, he's going to go ahead and pitch a one-drop Mateus Shantoto. He's going to go ahead and Dole Freeze that Chocobo with the Genesis. Wow, that's 2 Shantotos. He's going to Star Sybil. What is he going to grab? Is he going to grab a 3rd Shantoto here, or is he going to get something else?
I think he might go for something a little bit faster.
Wow, 2 Shantotos against what looks to be a heavy Chocobo deck. That's a very rough first hand. What do you think?
He might be going for the more aggressive and tempo-based strategy of his deck.
Right.
Seeing that he's playing Ice Earth.
Okay, he's going to go ahead and grab the new.
I forgot her name. Her name is just kind of difficult.
Was it Kamala? We're going to go bring that up for everybody to take a look at here. But I'm surprised he pitched the Shantotos, actually.
I don't think he's going to find them to be very effective. They're a little bit slow in this matchup. Chocobos are known to be going hard and fast. And at this point, if you're pitching your whole hand to take care of Chocobos, your catching up afterwards might be just a little bit too slow.
Right. Let's see what Cosmo does here. Very interesting match. Both of these players are very, very strong players. Sam has won Petite Cups, and we all know Matt from Six Angels Gaming, as well as FFTCG Mognet. So both of these players are very, very well known and have been in the game for quite some time here.
Yeah. All right. So now that his Chocobo is Dull and Frozen.
Dull and Frozen. So he's got to play something, because if he doesn't, he's going to take that Genesis. Oh, he goes plays Izana. He looks like he's going to go search for another Chocobo here.
So it looks like he's going to go for the full aggro route. Oh, wait.
Wait, is he going to grab that Chocobo Knight?
I think he's going the full aggro route. I mean,
Yeah,
when you
that's
start pitching so much in order to go all out,
Let's see
I do.
what he's going to do. We haven't seen Matt play any of his water element yet. He's going to grab another Chocobo. Looks like he's trying to go very, very aggro because he notices that Sam's playing ice.
Also,
ice
the fact that he discarded his 2 of his Shantotos.
Exactly. You know you're not going to go against 2 Shantotos, and you know he Star Sibbled for Cam. So I don't think he's afraid here to go just full bore here. But he is pitching a lot of cards. He only has 1 backup right now. He's got 4 cards in his hand. If he wants to play something, he's going to have to pitch half of his hand. Or he's going to have to pitch at least 1 card to get something out.
I mean, the thing about it right now is that even if you were to play that Chocobo that he just searched for,
he's going to have to pitch a card to do so.
And also,
he's going to play into a Ranger.
There you go. The Chocobo would not currently be large enough to attack that turn.
Right.
Alright, so 1 Genesis, 2 backups versus a Chocobo, Izana, and a Ranger, and a Fat Chocobo. So I'm not really sure.
That Ranger is going to be really hard to deal with. It can only be targeted by summons, no abilities here. So let's see what Sam does.
I'm not sure if the Genesis is going to be a efficient enough blocker to hold off the attack that's going to come out.
Right.
With the Chocobo being able to boost power to himself, to itself, and to another wind forward that party attacks with, it would be able to go over the Genesis, or at least trade with the Genesis.
Right. Really unfortunate for these. The 2 Shantoto backups are in Sam's BreakZone right now. He's going to go ahead and tier. He's going to go and choose the Dole. And he's going to pass his turn. He looks like he's just trying to mitigate the board presence right now.
I mean, searching for a dark forward with a Star Sybil definitely makes it so that there's 1 less card in your hand that you can actually pitch for resources.
Right.
So at that point, he definitely has less options in his hand.
He's going to go and swing with that Ranger. He's going to get a point of damage here on Sam. Ooh, with the EX burst on the Jill, both of those will be frozen right there. It's a very, very timely EX burst. It's going to help hold off a little bit. It's going to play into the
Winzidane.
Doesn't look like... Oh, Sam has 2 cards in his hands. He doesn't know which one going to force the discard. The Camelonaute's going to be 5-drop 9k, which is pretty large.
If I were him, I'd definitely pick the Hecatonk here, because otherwise you're going to force Sam to kind of play everything out of his hand in order to be able to play the Camelonaut, and the fact that he can party attack with some of his wind forwards to get over or trade with Sam's.
You know, that Cam could be useful because you could just choose wind at the beginning of your main phase, and he won't be able to be affected by summons or abilities of that chosen element. So
correct.
It might be useful right now. It's a 9k body, so
it's definitely something that's hard to deal with. But the fact that Matt has can party attack with forwards,
he's gonna go and block with that Zidane because it's already gotten its use out of it. He wants to play another one if he can get one. It looks like Cosmore has a good control. He's going to pitch the Star Sybil to play into a Cam. When you play, you can search for a dark card and add it to your hand. Does he have a dark card to add? He does. He's going to go ahead and grab Chaos there. It's a good play, solid play there. Pitching that Star Sybil to play the Cam, and then also grabbing a Chaos. He's going to go play that right away. Pitching a Lock. Wow. What do you think about that play?
I think at this point, Lock might not be the best card that Sam wants to play, because Matt is playing the aggressive game. If he wants to, he can actually go down to almost no cards and just keep the aggression going. And Lock is not one of the best blockers you want to have against what he's currently facing.
He's going to go ahead and EX Yuna. Going to get that Cam right back into his hand. That's a very strong play right there. Perfect timing. Perfect timing to get that Cam out and kind of breaking the efficiency that Sam did in the turn before. Up 3-0 right now. Looks like Cosmore has got firm control of this match. But I wouldn't count Sam out. He's got a slew of cards in his hands. He's got options. It's interesting to see what he's going to do here. He's going to go and take a look at the BreakZone to see if anything there is already accounted for, or if he has some worry about anything. I think he might have a play ready to go here.
I mean, at worst, he could still replay the Camelot, but I don't know if he has any more dark cards to actually search through in his deck.
Exactly, right. It's a great use of Camelot to get the Chaos. I think that's a really strong play. Yeah. He's going to go and swing with the Genesis. He's going to go ahead and block and trade with the Ranger. Looks like he's going to pitch a Gestalian Sid here. And play right into a Devout. He just needs to stabilize. I think he might be able to... Oh, he's going to take another point of damage here. Flipping over a Dada Luma. Looks like Cosmo's going to go ahead and play into an Arc.
So right here, they both have 3 backups out. Sam is definitely on the back foot right now. Matt is definitely the aggressor.
Yes, he can definitely crack his Devout to get a Genesis back to Dull Freeze, at least stabilize a little bit. I'm not sure if that's what he's going to do. That might be why he's so liberal in getting rid of a lot of these forwards that most Ice players would have normally kept, because he has the Devout. But losing the Devout, or using Devout, you're losing a backup resource right there. So I'm not sure that's going to be a strong play. But he definitely needs to get into the board here with some forwards, because he's pitching a Earth Warrior of Light. He's going to go ahead and play into a Terra, and he's going to play into the Warrior of Light. Oh, there you go. Let's take a look at that Warrior of Light here.
So Warrior of Light is definitely one of the popular cards that came out in Opus 5. It looks like it's going to be a mainstay in most Earth decks, and in this case, he... Okay.
I'm just going to go ahead and...
That's right. During the attack phase, Warrior of Light has the ability to deal 3,000 damage to a Dull forward, and looks like he declares his attack phase in order to be able to do just that after Terra dealt 4,000 damage to Izana.
Exactly. So Warrior of Light is just so strong because you don't even need to attack with him. You just need to go into your attack phase, and you can select up to 2 of the 4, right? And it looks like he did enough to get rid of the Izana.
Alright, so Cosmore is playing into the strength of the Chocobo deck, which is to keep searching for cards and get a lot of efficiency out of it.
Right.
But let's see if, so far, he has not run out of steam yet. And that's something that you worry about playing the heavy aggressor like he is.
That Warrior of Light is really going to be annoying because he's going to be able to give himself 2,000 in Brave. He's going to be a 10k Brave. It's going to start whacking away at a lot of those Chocobos. I like that Warrior of Light play, with the pitching it to play the Terra to do some damage, and then devouting to get it back, and then announcing your attack phase. I like that. That's heads up play right there.
Keep in mind that since Matt already has a Yuna in play, if he draws into anything like Chaos Walker of the Wheel, he will be able to remove Warrior of Light from the game, and that could actually be one of the things he's hoping for right now. I mean, he's already got Sam at 4 damage.
Right.
If he's able to deal with Warrior of Light,
looks like
he'll have a much easier time.
Attack, giving himself Brave, and gonna swing with the Terra here. 2 points of damage, and looks like Sam is on the board. What is he gonna do now? Solid turn here for Sam. Looks like he might have stabilized. He needs to continue pressing what little advantage he has now to kind of even the playing field a little bit here. Oh, he's pitching a Devout. He's going to play into a Dada Luma. That Dada Luma is just always hard to deal with. Every time you see a Dada Luma, it's like, oh man.
If I remember correctly, the combination of Dada Luma and one of the abilities on that Terra would be able to ping off probably Izana. So if he were to block with Dada Luma, let's say a Chocobo, and after that use one ICP on that Terra ability to deal 1 more point of damage, he would actually be able to take out 5,000 damage forward. 5,000 power forward.
That Dada Luma is going to stall that Chocobo. He's going to go ahead and party attack. In fact, that's an interesting play here. I would actually just take that 1 point of damage. But looks like he's going to go ahead and play a Chaos Walker here.
Targeting the Dalaluma.
Dalaluma.
Removing him from the game.
Exactly. And then party attacking here. I would take that point of damage if I was Sam. Get back on 2 more on the swing, and then play something hopefully larger. Maybe like a Shantoto forward if he had it. Oh, he goes, oh,
EX
wow.
Burst Chill.
EX Burst Chill. That is just going to stop him stone cold right there. He does take that 5th point of damage, though. But that EX Burst Chill is just coming in at the right time. He can potentially do 4 points of damage off that 1 EX Burst Chill if Cosmo doesn't have anything else to play here on his following turn.
I mean, Matt still has 2 more cards in his hand. He's going to draw 2 more.
And he's going to draw 2 more. So let's see what Sam's going to do here. Is he going to use the EX Bursts don't work?
I mean, what do you think he should use?
I think he should use the Brave, and the EX Bursts do not work.
I agree. I mean, there's no point in power boosting your forwards if there's no blockers out.
There's no blockers out. But maybe there might be an Asura or some way for Matt to go ahead and activate right now. He is playing Wind, so are you going to be pragmatic and overboost just in that case, or are you going to go ahead and just swing, forcing him to play that if he had it?
I think even if he boosts, at worst, the Terra would trade against the Chocobo. I believe the Chocobo is 6,000 power, and even if you gave it a boost from Sylph...
Well, has Arc.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. So with Arc, it is currently 7,000 power.
And it can be 8 with...
if you have Sylph.
Yes. So let's see what Sam's going to do here.
I personally feel like, you definitely...
He's going to go and swing with that Terra here. Take that point of damage. No EX Burst to help. Is he going to
he didn't attack
his attack phase? Oh no, looks like he's going to go ahead and ping off the Izana right there.
So he used the Warrior of Light's ability, the Wall's ability to deal 3,000 damage.
And then using Terra, that's a very
good combination.
Very cool combination to use. I've never seen that being used before. That is very cool. That Terra is actually pretty aggressive right now. You're just going to keep swinging into it, and then what you're going to do is you're going to use the Warrior of Light, and then you're going to use the Terra's ability to try to ping off a lot of these smaller guys. I think that's a great play, and it's actually going to help him stabilize right now, because I'm not sure if Cosmo is going to have enough gas to continue this aggression, because now the Warrior of Light is here, and the Terra is here. He's going to be able to ping things off every turn.
He does have 4 cards in hand, though.
He does have 4 cards he hasn't run out. So he does have options. But we'll see what he's going to do here.
So normally one of the issues playing aggressive deck is that you don't have the time to...
Fat Chocobo.
I think he's just going to use that as... Maybe he ran out of cards to kind of search for.
Okay.
And so he'll still be able to pitch it for CP if needed.
Right. I think Sam might have gotten that Warrior of Light. It might have helped him stabilize the board here.
The Warrior of Light is a very big play, and he's on curve.
He is. Now he's going to be able to go ahead and try to ping off the Chocobo
Knight.
Chocobo Knight. Let's bring that card up. I like that card. It's one of my favorite cards in Opus 5.
It's adorable. Looks kind of like a penguin sometimes.
Right?
And he's taking a look at it because he might not have played against it that much. All right, Sam has a lot of options. He's got a grip full of cards, and he definitely has ways to take care of whatever he needs right now. Right. I mean, at this point, do you worry more about EX Burst, or do you just want to go swing in? Because
on a note here, that Chocobo Knight is really only useful if you can continue drawing cards.
Correct. So I think Sam would like to be able to get rid of him.
And I think he can. It's only at 4K.
But then he'd have to use...
the Warrior of Light's ability.
No, because Warrior of Light only works on dull.
Right.
So until Chocobo Knight is dull, he won't be able to use the
3,000. Ice. Maybe he's going to be able to dull it somehow and then be able to ping it off. I really like this interaction that he's using with the Warrior of Light and the Terra.
I mean, it's worked for him really well in this matchup, at least.
Right.
It doesn't feel like he's missing out on his Shantodos too much right now, actually.
Well, yeah. Very surprised. I'm always surprised when I see players pitching Shantodos. It's just such a good card.
Yeah, but I think in this matchup, he understood that if he were to have to face, let's say, Adele or a Chocobo that has haste, then he would much rather not have to Shantodo, use up all his resources, and then on the backswing, his opponent plays out haste forwards.
And Sam right here is going to go ahead for a 4th point of damage, pulling over that Maria. That's going to be very, very helpful to get off the out of the game here. Going to pitch his Orphan. We were just talking about Orphan. I actually think that's a very, very good card, but he doesn't have enough forward ice characters to do much of anything with it. So.
Oh, and he's going to use a Bismarck.
Wow. Okay. Let's see what.
Prior to that, he is. So Sam finished off the Chocobo before the Bismarck was able to trade the Chocobo for the War of Light.
Bismarck just fizzle.
Correct.
Wow. And Cosmore actually paid a lot to play that Bismarck.
That he did, but Sam pitched a whole lot of cards in order to make that happen.
He did, but you know what? That still might be towards his advantage right now.
At this point, I think it's anybody's board.
Still has 3 cards in his hand, so.
He does, but he's behind on 1 backup.
He is, but he's almost caught up in damage.
I think at this point, Sam would really like to have more ice backups to be able to make full use of...
That knight's going to be...
7k, I think.
7k now with that arc. He doesn't want to be dull because he doesn't want that Terra to start going through his forwards here. But you're giving an ice player more cards to draw. It's only a matter of time before he has some type of tempo play here. It looks like he does. It looks like he has a heck in his hand.
Maybe.
Able to do something.
I didn't quite see, but Sam still has to worry about Adele. You do see an Adele in the damage zone, meaning that...
You know it's coming, so...
Cosmo probably has more.
Cosmo's... Oh, pitch over a Bismarck here. And now we're tied here at 5 apiece in the Swiss Round 2 here at the North American Crystal Cup for Boston. 2 just juggernaut players going at it. Very, very good match here. Thank you for joining us here at the BreakZone as we give you live coverage of the Crystal Cup here in Boston. We hope you guys are enjoying the amazing play that we're streaming here for everybody to see.
Heck on the knight.
It's going to heck up right on that knight right there. And... Gonna swing with the Terra. Oh wow, another point of damage here. Sam is pulling out ahead. It looks like Cosmore might be running out of steam. He does have the Izana and an Adele in his hand. Rolls up his sleeves and let's see what he can get done.
Well, 5 cards in the hand. There's usually
and he has that Leviathan. So,
but he needs to be able to deal 2 points of damage this turn, or he's gonna be in big trouble.
Yes. Playing that Adele is not going to help you right now.
Actually, playing the Adele wouldn't be so bad, meaning that he would have another forward to attack with, and if he's able to bounce the wall...
He's going to go ahead and bounce that wall right now. I believe he just played into that Leviathan, targeting the wall.
But let's see if Sam really has the...
He's going to let it go.
Okay. If he has that Heka, he is going to need it.
Yes, he is definitely going to need it.
I definitely saw Adele in Matt's hand, and
it looks like he has an Adele and a Ranger. Can he do anything?
He just needs the Adele in play, attack with both, and he's able to pull out the win. That's if Sam has no answer to it.
Right, but we know Sam has a fistful of cards right now.
So Matt is double checking.
He's checking for the. It looks like he's checking for the Hekas to see how many there are there, and if he has any other things to deal with. That Adele. Let's bring that card up. We've been talking about it.
As much as people have talked about Ilua for lightning, people have been talking about Adele for wind.
Right.
She is a haste forward that can become unblockable. She's an amazing card. She is not exactly on curve, but you don't really care as much if you have enough win backups in play in order to activate her ability.
I love this card. Haste, cannot be blocked. All it takes is one win CP. Just one of those win cards that just gets under and through almost everything.
And this is exactly when you want her. You want her when you want to sneak in the last couple points of damage.
Exactly.
Your opponent thinks, hey, I got another turn. I'm only going to take 1 point of damage this turn. Playing Adele, giving her and having her have, since she has haste, you're able to sneak in that one last point of damage, which is exactly what you want her for.
But wouldn't he be able to do that right now?
He would.
Swing
He would.
with.
Oh wow! I'm surprised he didn't play Adele.
Swing. Why didn't? Whoa. And a Ranger. Why didn't he play the Adele?
I'm not quite sure, actually.
Why did he play that? I'm really confused. He could have went for Fatal right there.
So 6. So yeah, I think that was Fatal. I'm surprised that. You didn't go for that.
Go ahead and play that Adele. You see it's in his hand. It looked like that was Fatal to me. And now he's looking at, wow, is that 3 Jonah bots in the EX burst zone?
I think, so maybe what he's hoping for is that Simon doesn't have enough answers or might not draw the heck out. But as we've discussed in previous streams and such, you don't want to give another player more chances to draw a card. If you think he's going to have a card in hand, then you force it out.
Yes, force it out.
Because if he doesn't have it, he can't answer it. And if he doesn't have it now, he just might draw it in the next 2.
Exactly. I'm really surprised, again, why Cosmore didn't play that Adele and just went for Fatal.
Yeah.
And when he attacked with the Chocobo Knight, I was like, don't you want to play the Adele first? So that's interesting. Now he can deal with the Chocobo Knight.
Let's see what he has in mind. At this point, with Wall in play, he would be able to give Tara Brave, and actually have her also get pumped by 2,000 power, boosted by 2,000 power, and be able to swing in and force the Ranger block.
Shiva. Oh, wow.
Shiva both, and swing in for the 7th point of damage.
Wow, and here we go with Sam Prime taking it down. Talk to me about why you wouldn't have played that Adele.
I really can't tell you, actually. For the life of me, I would definitely have played that Adele. I mean, to me, that was Fatal.
Yeah, that looked like that was Fatal here.
I think it was maybe he was scared of the Shiva, which did come into play in here. But if you have Fatal on board, you've got to try.
On board, you've got to push for it. I was surprised. I would have forced him to use that Shiva, and if the Shiva came out, maybe. But then he played the Ranger. Ranger would have been susceptible to Shiva regardless.
Correct.
So, I'm not quite understanding what that play was there for. And
I mean, sometimes we can't. We don't know everything that goes on in somebody's head.
Right.
It's definitely a lot easier to take a step back and look at the plays and the lines of plays when we're sitting from the commentators table.
Right.
Because sometimes, I mean, there definitely have been times when I have missed something that was on board for me.
Yeah, no, this happens a lot, and when you're playing against Ice, you don't want to overextend, because if you get overextend, you might just give the game away. Right. So maybe Matt was being a little bit more pragmatic there, and holding that Adele back for trying to bait out the extra doles and whatnot, and hopefully he wasn't going to draw it, and then the Adele would have come in, he would have won the next turn. But if he had played the Adele, assuming that Sam didn't draw that Shiva on his next turn, that would have been game regardless. Right? Even if he played into the Ranger, the Shiva was, just like we saw, the Ranger's susceptible to the Shiva too. So
I mean, it's definitely tough when you're playing 2 aggressive decks and one is slightly larger. Then if you're both at an even board state, then you have to rush it out and just end.
Exactly. So talk to me a little bit about what you saw from Sam's end, because it looked like Cosmore had him dead to rights in the beginning of the match.
He did.
And how do you think? What were some of the key plays that you thought that helped him get back into the match, stabilize, and eventually win?
I'll say the Terra.
The Terra definitely is huge. I've never seen that Terra being used with the wall like that before. I like it.
I mean, welcome to Opus 5, right?
Yeah, right. that wall is awesome, and you're just able to kind of do so much with it to clear the board. And he played just the right deck, which is a small forward deck like Chocobo's.
And he definitely made a lot of the right plays. He discarded his Shantotos because otherwise in this matchup they're not always ideal.
Sometimes, and then you're right, and I usually don't like discarding Shantotos. And for the reason why you're right here is that sometimes playing that Shantoto is actually worse off for you because you pitch so much to play it. You usually have no cards in your hand. The next turn, your opponent draws 2 and gets the step ahead of you.
Correct.
Right.
And it's not just a slight step ahead, but with all the haste forwards that Matt's deck has, it would have been almost 2 steps ahead.
Exactly. So Sam obviously knows how to pilot his deck. So I thought the major play here was when he was actually pitching the wall to bring in a Terra, and then pitching his Devout to get the wall back.
I mean, breaking his Devout.
Breaking his Devout to get the wall back. I thought that was such a great play. It was huge, and it helped him stabilize that board because now he had an engine to kind of get rid of things and kind of sneak in to add pressure. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a key play.
Even the Camelot searching out the chaos helped him pay for that the activation.
Exactly. So the Camelot coming in the chaos, giving him the 2 ICP that he needed. And a little bit of luck on going for Sam Harris. 3 Jill Nabots in the EX burst.
That is the worst nightmare for aggressive deck.
Exactly. That's just going to stop you dead cold. Yeah. And those 3 Jill Nabots just came in at such key times.
Yes.
And a lot of times you don't want to depend on an EX burst unless you're Arvin Bernardo. You don't want to depend on it, but when they happen and they help you, it's a feel-good moment. And all 3 of those hit exactly when they needed to. And, I think that was just very, very fortunate, but not to take away from Sam's skill-wise, he played very, very well off of those EX bursts. When they happened, he didn't waste the opportunity to do so.
So definitely something that you will notice when watching high-level play is it feels like everything falls into place. But really what they do is they craft their hands, they craft their plays.
Right.
And as you see things progress, it seems like they make all the right plays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I totally agree with you. A lot of times players are like, oh, wow, he played perfectly. Everything seems so easy. His deck works so well. But then when they go ahead and try to make the deck, they don't play this that well. And it's not because the deck isn't well made. It's because the players have so much experience that they're thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, 2 or 3 turns down the road. How are they going to craft these? How are they going to do this? I mean, Sam could have gone a million ways at pitching. He could have pitched those Devouts for something else, but he didn't. He held on to them, knowing that he was going to pitch the wall to play into a Terra, and then break his Devout to play into the wall, getting both of them in very, very quickly at the cost of just 1 backup. Losing 1 backup, right? For the most part, right? I thought that was beautiful.
I mean,
it's a great play.
So an easy trap for some players is that, hey, I'm playing against an aggressive deck. Save my Shantotos when they overextend. I'm gonna put it out there. But in this case, Sam made the right call by getting rid of his Shantotos because they were not the card that he needed.
They weren't going
to
help him. And Cosmore is a very strong player. He would have known to not overextend.
Yes.
Right. He would have known, and maybe that's why he was what he was afraid of is not overextending on the threat of board wipes. And Sam played those Hecaton Cures perfectly, right? So, I mean, both players just battling it out here at the Boston Crystal Cup, and it's such a great experience to see, such a great privilege to watch them play because usually they're not in the same building. I mean, just to give our viewers a little bit of background, there's players here from all over the country. We have players from California, we have players from Chicago, we have players all over, all culminating here to try to win a bid to the Nationals, right? So it's great to see all these players, and we don't usually get a chance to see this type of play between these type of players ever. So, it's great to see the back and forth between such strong players.
That was a game of inches.
Exactly.
Literally, it
Game
would
of
take
inches.
just one misplay, and you would just
Right.
get crushed.
One
And
misplay, one missed EX burst, one pitching of the devout instead of playing it. Every one of these moves are so calculated by these players, and these decks they're just so tuned, and and it's just great to watch. Either which way, you get a match of 6-6. It's a strong match to watch. So we hope you guys really enjoyed that. We had fun covering it, and it's just great. Thank you for joining us here at the BreakZone as we give you live coverage of the Boston Crystal Cup. We're going to go ahead and take a break for round 3, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. Once again, my name is JT.
I'm Lawrence.
And we'll catch you guys in just a little bit.